Hello, and welcome to our show. We're here from SafeBerks. We are a nonprofit located in Reading. We serve the people of Berks County, and we serve survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. SafeBerks was founded in 1976 as Berks Women in Crisis, but we changed our name in 2016 as we want to make sure everyone knows we serve all survivors. I'm very pleased to welcome my friend and colleague, Kate Mallow, here today. Kate is the Director of Counseling Services at SafeBerks. So thank you for joining today.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here.
Yes. Well, maybe we could just start out by me asking you, tell us a little bit about the counseling services that are offered by SafeBerks.
Okay. Our counseling services are free.
Very important.
And that's can be very important for folks. And we offer trauma-informed, what we call trauma-informed empowerment counseling. So that model focuses on the trauma experience, how that resonates for many people, to give them a safe, confidential space to be able to begin the healing process, to explore the trauma experience, to find ways to heal from that by empowering them to explore their world, make decisions, identify what they need, how we can help them achieve their goals and objectives, and help to support them overall in healing from what we know are shared experiences for many trauma survivors. A lot of shame, a lot of self-doubt, feelings of hopelessness, helplessness, ineffectualness in the world to help boost that.
Wow, it's really powerful. And I guess one thing that's coming to my mind is it must be for every survivor who has lived through a domestic violence or sexual assault, which would include, child sexual abuse, which is a big problem. There is always trauma. Is that correct? That every one of these people has experienced trauma.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a core thread that runs across the spectrum, whether it's long ago trauma, sexual assault related, domestic violence related. Everyone's experience is different, but there are themes that run across the trauma experience, and that's why, for example, we have a mutual aid and support group program now.
Great.
And that shared experience and being able to be in a safe space with other trauma survivors can be a really important part of the healing process. Being able to share experiences, having people, I often sort of make the analogy that when I'm trying to encourage people to come in, you will share and you will see head bobbing.
Right.
Because people know there are common
and then there's a solidarity and people realize they're not alone. They unfortunately are many other people, unfortunately that there are other victims, but fortunate in the connection.
And the sense of isolation, which is another hallmark of the trauma experience, the group is one of the ways where that sense of isolation can be broken. Because other people have lived their own trauma experience, and it can help break through that.
Because the trauma, if left without any assistance or any help, is it true that it can be extremely disabling to a person's life?
It can be for many people, because if you don't have an opportunity to process that in a productive way that gets it out and helps you to move on. It doesn't go away, and it comes out in other ways that for many people don't serve their well-being at all.
Right.
So.
It's bringing to mind the one group of survivors that had done the Photo Voice Project, and have you in your experience found that some survivors benefit from some kind of artistic expression, whether it would be writing or...
I have a personal bias because I come out of an art background before I became a social worker, a clinical social worker.
That's great.
So I've always, wherever it seems productive, incorporated expressive therapies and using writing, movement, voice, spoken word, into the healing process. And we do know from evidence-based research that at some point for many trauma survivors, the narrative, being able to tell their story, whether it's through writing, spoken word, visual, dance, can be a very important part of the healing process. It's not for everyone.
Right.
And one of the things that we always try to do wherever possible with the survivors that we work with at SafeBerks is to find what's going to be the most empowering for their healing process and encourage that and find ways where that can happen.
Because each person is so individual, and their processes of dealing with the trauma and healing is going to be so unique to them. And that I was lucky to be in a training just yesterday, I think, which was about the counseling program at SafeBerks. And one thing that I was so happy to learn about all of it, but one thing that Olga had stressed was how much listening is involved at SafeBerks. Do you want to comment on that at all? That something that might be a little special about us?
Well, we have, you'll find soon enough, and I think I'm on tap for that next week.
Oh, great.
The active and reflective listening module.
Okay.
And absolutely in the counseling work that we do, the biggest part of yourself that you can bring to help anyone, I believe, in the interpersonal sphere is, an open heart and an open mind and open ears, and to listen, truly listen, without judgment. So that is a very important part of the empowerment counseling model, because many people who are survivors of domestic violence and or sexual assault have been silenced. And they've had no voice, because while the domestic violence and sexual assault may be the actions, the underlying goal for the offender is power and control. And so there are many, many ways in which victims are silenced, literally and figuratively. So being able to be present, to listen, is really key.
It must be really powerful, right? That listening, for the person to have someone really listen to them if they haven't had that experience.
And believe them.
Yeah.
Not only to hear them, but believe them, because that's also something that's a hallmark of the experience of being victimized. Your credibility and your truth is called into question as an additional way of controlling.
Wow. Well, I'm so glad to learn more about this and know that people have a place to go. If they have not received any kind of counseling for the trauma they've experienced, they can contact us 24 hours a day. They can contact us and they can make appointments. And one quick question, in addition to it being free, is there a limit to say how many sessions a person could get? So there's no limit.
No. In the trauma-informed empowerment counseling model, it's driven by the individual who is seeking the services. We work with folks to establish goals that they identify, how frequently and duration they would like to come for services. I often tell people, our door is always open. And you might feel at a certain point, you've come for a few months, you've accomplished what you want to accomplish. That's where you're at that point, but you're always welcome to come back. And that's why also the group program that we have running now can also be a great place for people who maybe they don't feel that they need to come and speak to someone one-on-one.
Right.
But the community of support can be very important and empowering as they continue to move. As one of my mantras is onward and upward.
Nice.
And so as they continue on with that. So wherever possible, we're trying to make it about what do they perceive is going to be helpful and healing,
because
and attuned to that.
And the power is in the hands of the survivor. They are in charge of their decisions and their healing, and we're there to help. We're here. That was sort of, I'm checking, I was learning it right in the training, that the trainer said, they're driving the bus, we're on the bus.
Yes.
So
that's oftentimes the analogy that gets used. Yeah.
Well, I hope anyone who's listening or hears this that would be served by our counseling programs would contact us at SafeBerks. You can check out our website at SafeBerks.org. And thank you very much to Kate Mallow.
Okay, thanks. Thank you so much for having me. And we have bilingual counseling services.
Very important point. Thank you.
Thanks.
For more information about SafeBerks, check out our website at www.safeberks.org.